Welcome, Mystery Handicapper. Let's take a look at race number 12 at Churchilldowns. It is the 2023 Kentucky Derby. It's a mile and a quarter with a purse of $3 million. As always, I'm going to do a full field analysis. I'll discuss every horse in the field. I'll let you know which horses I'm using on my tickets. I like playing exotics. And historically, this has always been a great race for exotics. The exotics pay well in the Kentucky Derby. I'm not expecting a crazy pace like we got last year, but we should have a decent pace in this race. Let's take a look at the field of the Kentucky Derby. Let's look at the horse coming from that dreaded one-post position at 30-1. It's Hit Show. Hit Show won the Grade 3 with us by 5.5. At Aqueduct, over 1.8 miles distance. Take a look at Hit Show's races. He's been favored in all of his races. He's trained by Brad Cox. And he's coming from post position number 1. Last time a horse has won from that post position was Ferdinand in 1986. Now they did change the gate, so maybe that might help a little bit. But remember Mo Donegal last year? Mo Donegal came from post position number 1, and he finished 5th in the Kentucky Derby. And that was his worst finish in his 7-race career. After the Kentucky Derby, Mo Donegal won the Belmont Stakes. I can't take post position number 1 in a 20-horse field. Hit Show does have a nice workout. Coming into this race, you're getting 30-1 on the one-horse Hit Show. Well, Brad Cox drew the rail with 2 of his horses. Number 2 horse is Verifying, who should be favorably placed in this race. Coming from that 2-post position, which really hasn't been much better than post position number 1. The last time a horse won from post position number 2 was 1978, and that was affirmed. So Tyler's going to have to send Verify. He's going to need a good break from the gate. His last race out in the Bluegrass Stakes, he put up a really nice speed figure, losing by a neck to Tappet Trice. Verifying has a nice workout coming into this one. Side by Justify. Getting 15-1 on the 2-horse, Verifying. At 12-1, it's the 3-horse, 2 Fills. Won the Grade 3 Street Sense over Sloppy Track. Finished 2nd in the LeCompte at the Fairgrounds. Then finished 3rd in the Risen Star Stakes. That next race out, Jeff Ruby Stakes. Look at that speed figure he posted. He dominated that field by 5.25. I don't know if the synthetic surface had something to do with that, or maybe this is just a 3-year-old horse that's improving. I mean, he does have ascending speed figures, and you like to see that out of these 3-year-olds. He also has a win over the track. He's got a string of nice workouts coming into this one. Getting 12-1 on 2 Fills. I will use 2 Fills on my tickets. Take a look at the 4-horse Confidence Game at 20-1. He's only been out of the money 1 time. He has 2 wins at Churchilldowns. Keith DeSorma was trying to lose something different with this horse. Confidence Game is coming in off a 10-week layoff. Keith DeSorma was going to train him up to the Kentucky Derby. Who knows, if he's successful, you may see other trainers do it. And he's been training. I mean, look at April 14th. He got a 1-mile workout. How often do you see these 3-year-olds get 1-mile workouts? I think it's kind of a risky approach Keith is taking. But you're getting 20-1 on the 4-horse Confidence Game. He should be forward in this race. Since 1956, only 2 horses have won the Kentucky Derby off a layoff of 6 weeks or more. Animal Kingdom and Authentic. Take a look at the 5 horse at 5-1. It's Tapit Trice. Now you may have to question which of these horses can get the 1.25 mile distance. But for me, there's no question that this horse can get the 1.25 miles. In fact, he could most likely get longer than that. Being a son of Tapit, out of 5 races, he's never been out of the money. Broke his maiden at Aqueduct over a muddy racetrack. His 3-year-old debut, won by 8. Next time out in the Tampa Derby, won that race by 2. And he posted his highest speed figure in the Bluegrass Stakes, winning by neck. I'll tell you something about Tapit Trice. I mean, you can't deny his form. He's won 4 in a row. He does have a tendency to break kind of slow. You can't break slow in the Kentucky Derby. And not only that, but if you go back and you watch his last few wins, he wants nothing to do with the rail. He's wide in every race. I don't think this horse likes kickback at all. Having the number 5 post position in the 20-horse field, I think it's impossible for him not to get some kickback. He's going to get kickback. But Saez takes him wide. Every race, if you go back and watch his races. Getting 5-1 on Tapit Trice. Last time the Bluegrass winner won the Kentucky Derby was 1991, Strike to Go. Now, Street Sense raced in the Bluegrass, didn't win it. Street Sense also won the Kentucky Derby in 2007. Now, even though Tapit horses can get the distance, Tapit horses, the Kentucky Derby are 0 for 13. Getting 5-1 on the 5-horse Tapit Trice. Let's take a look at the 6. King's Barnes. Perfect 3 for 3. Your Louisiana Derby winner by 3.5. He went to the lead in that race. Went at a snail's pace. And they couldn't catch him. He's not going to be able to pull that off in this one. He is getting Jose Ortiz aboard. He's trained by Todd Fletcher. Never raced as a 2-year. Since 1882, only 1 horse has won the Kentucky Derby without racing as a 2-year. That was your Triple Crown winner, Justified. Getting 12-1 on King's Barnes. He should be forward in this race, but he's not going to be able to set a slow pace like he did in the Louisiana Derby. At 50-1, it's the 7-horse, Reincarnate. Formerly trained by Bob Baffert, currently trained by Tim Yakteen. Never out of the money in 7 career races. Back-to-back 3rd place finishes in the Rebel, Arkansas Derby. Getting John Velasquez aboard. Has a super fast workout coming into this one. He'll be forward. Getting 50-1 on the 7-horse, Reincarnate. Take a look at the 8-horse. Mage at 15-1. 15-1 on the 8-horse, Mage. 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 Mage broke his maiden at Gulfstream, 3 3/4. Next time out, he hit the gate in the Fountain of Youth. Finished fourth in that race. In the Florida Derby, I thought Mage would be forward. Mage got off slow. Very slow. And when I saw Mage was in 12th position, I said, well, Mage doesn't have a chance in this race. Mage really impressed me. Took over the lead in the stretch. Just got passed up by length by Forte. I was very impressed with that race by Mage. Getting 15 to 1 on this horse. This is also a horse who never raced. As a 2-year-old, Mage cannot afford to break slowly again. Mage is going to have to break sharp from the gate. Getting 15 to 1 on 8-horse Mage. Here's a closer. 20 to 1. The 9-horse Skinner. Broke his maiden at Santa Anita by 3 1/4. Finished third in the San Felipe. Next time out, Santa Anita Derby. He was closing nicely on a practical move. I think he's going to love the extra distance. Getting 20 to 1 on Skinner. I'm going to use him underneath. I can see him closing towards the end. I'll use Skinner at 20 to 1 on my tickets. And then there's the winner of the Santa Anita Derby. It's a practical move. He won the Los Al Charity with a 105 Brisnet speed figure. Winning by 3 1/4. In his 3-year-old debut, put up another nice speed figure in the San Felipe. Winning by 2 1/2. And he held on for the win of the Santa Anita Derby by a nose. If you go back and you watch his races, especially his last 3 wins, he's gotten some pretty easy trips in those races. I'm not taking anything from him. I like practical moves. I picked him to win the San Felipe. I picked him to win the Santa Anita Derby. But he's got easy trips in those races. This is 20 horses in this field. Trip may not be so easy. And I have to question whether or not he can get the 1 1/4. Mandarin Hero and Skinner, they were catching up to him towards the end of the Santa Anita Derby. Getting 10 to 1 on the 10-horse. Practical move. And there's the 11-horse at 31 with Joel Rosario. It's Disarmed, trained by Steve Asmussen. Steve Asmussen has never won the Kentucky Derby. April 24th, he posted a nice workout with Disarmed. Out of 5 races, he's never been out of the money. His only win is against maidens. He does have ascending speed figures, but he needs to step up his speed figures a little bit more. And I'm going to tell you about Disarmed. I was really disappointed in him in his last race. I mean, he only needed a 3rd place finish to get to the Derby, but I just wasn't impressed with that race at all. I thought he should have won the Lexington, and he should have won that race easily. Getting 30 to 1 on 11-horse Disarmed. Take a look at another long shot at 50 to 1. It's Jace's Road. Jace's Road is trained by Brad Cox. Jace's Road should be forward in this race. I am not a fan of his speed figures competing against these horses. You're getting 50 to 1 on the 12-horse. Jace's Road. Another long shot at 50 to 1. The 13-horse Sun Thunder. He's a closer. His only win has been against maidens. But in the Risen Star Stakes, he finished 2nd to Angel of Empire. Getting 50 to 1 on the 13-horse Sun Thunder. I think he needs to step up his speed figures as well. trying blinkers for the first time on Sun Thunder. And at 8-1, there's the 14-horse Angel of Empire. I like this horse. His only bad race was on turf. He's got ascending speed figures. He took a step forward in the Risen Star Stakes. Next time out in the Arkansas Derby, he took another step forward. He won by 4 1/4. Flavian Pratt could have chosen King's Barnes, but he chose Angel of Empire over him. Getting Pratt. Brad Cox. He is coming from post position number 14. Problem is with that post position, no horse has won from that post position since 1961. Angel Empire has to overcome the history of post position number 14, but I like him and I'm going to use him on my tickets. And then there's your morning line favorite. At 3-1, it's the 15-horse Forte. Written by Irad Ortiz. You gotta love this horse's form. Look at what he's been doing. He's won 5 races in a row. He's posted some nice speed figures. You know, maybe you weren't too impressed with his Florida Derby win, but look, he still found a way to win. He's coming from that terrible post position number 11. It's hard to knock this horse. You're only getting 3-1 on Forte. I'm going to definitely use them on my tickets, even though I'm only getting 3-1. I'm going to use them on my tickets. I'm not going to pick him to win because I don't want a 3-1 horse in a 20-horse field. But I will definitely use the 15-horse Forte. At 50-1, it's the 16-horse Raise Cane. Won Gotham over Muddy Track at 7.5. He's going to have to really step up his speed figures to compete with these horses. Getting 50-1 on the 16-horse Raise King. Then there's your Japanese shipper. At 10-1, Derma Sotogake. Winner of the UAE Derby. He won that race by 5.5. Coming out from the rail, they sent him. He won gate to wire. UAE Derby horses are 0 for 18 in the Kentucky Derby, with their best finish being the 5th place finish. But it's hard to ignore these Japanese shippers. And I'm not going to ignore Derma Sotogake. I will use the 17 horse at 10-1 on my tickets. Take a look at the 18 Rocket Can. Broke his maiden at Churchill-Downs. Finished 4th in Arkansas Derby. Before that, finished 2nd in the Fountain of Youth. Before that, he won the Grade 3 Holy Bull. Bill Mott's going to add blinkers. Has a nice workout coming to this race, getting 30-1 on the 18-horse Rocket Can. And then there's the 19-horse Lord Miles. Your upset winner of the Wood Memorial at 59-1. Getting 30-1 on Lord Miles. Only one horse has won both the Wood and the Derby. It was Fusaichi Pegasus in 2000. Getting 30-1 on the 19-horse Lord Miles. Then to close out your field, it's another Japanese shipper, the Japanese shipper that nobody's talking about. At 50-1, it's Continuor. Hasn't got nearly as much attention as Derma Sotogake. You know, he finished 2nd to Derma Sotogake a few races back as a 2-year-old. But last time out, he finished 10 behind Derma Sotogake in the UAE Derby, getting 50-1 on Continuor. That completes the field for the Kentucky Derby. Now, last year, I did not look at the also eligible horses at all. And the Friday before the Derby, one of the top 20 scratched. One of the also eligibles got in. It was a horse by the name of Rich Strike. And I didn't even look at him. So this year, I'm going to take a look at the also eligibles just real quick. Look at number 21, Cyclone Mischief. Out of 7 races, has 2 wins. 3/3. Couple back-to-back third-place finishes. Fountain Ute, Florida Derby, getting 30-1 on Cyclone Mischief. And there's another Japanese shipper at 20, number 22, Mandarin Hero. I liked this race last time out, Santa Anita Derby. Out of 6 races, he has 4 wins, 2 seconds. He's going to need a couple scratches. If he gets a couple scratches, I'm going to use him on my tickets. I like this horse at 20-1, but he needs a couple scratches to get in. And then there's number 23, King Russell. King Russell is 50-1. His only win has come against maidens, but he finished second last time out in Arkansas Derby, getting 50-1 on King Russell. Boy, what a field. Okay, so these are the horses that I'm going to use on my tickets. I'm using Forte. I'm using Angel of Empire. I'm using Derma Sotogake. I'm using Skinner. And I'm using 2 fields. I'll watch Tapper Trice's odds. Hopefully I can get better than 5-1 on him. And I may think about adding him as well. Horse I'm going to pick to win the 2023 Kentucky Derby. I am going with the number 14 horse at 8-1, trained by Brad Cox, ridden by Flavian Pratt. I'm going with Angel of Empire. I think this is going to be a great race. It's always a fun race to watch. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know who you're picking in the Kentucky Derby. Good luck.